team ban.
It's definitely going to be something interesting to watch then. Both teams seem to have more or less know what they want to ban, what they want to pick. The meta is not quite defined just yet, so it's going to be interesting to see between the teams from here exactly what they choose to ban or pick. Naga Siren and Slog, two very highly contested heroes.
Radiant team ban.
Yeah. It's gonna be. I think like Doom is still quite a good hero, but it seems like he doesn't really have a position to fit in to. So like he doesn't have a definite safe lane, definite off lane anymore. Well, it seems like for everything he wants to play, there is something a bit better.
10 seconds remaining.
It was definitely like the buff to heroes like Slog, like Warlock, even after the Fatal Bonds had a slight nerf. Stuff like Omni Knight, stuff like Chen, just having that much more. It's insane to consider just what exactly they is in the pool right now for people to pick. We all know Enigma is still there. Silence is not that strong anymore, so sort of these global heroes are also being picked a lot, or AoE big spells are being picked a lot as well. So it wouldn't even surprise me to still see something like a Tide Hunter mid. He's a tanky hero to go with. He only needs a few items to scale. It's pretty insane to work with it.
Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Assassin.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Radiant team pick.
Slaughter.
Yeah.
10 seconds remaining.
Yeah, it seems like it's a hero that does quite often go for the off lane pick, but we have seen him in a position for roamer, especially because of the movement speed he gets in the river. He can move to the mid lane quite easily. So if you have something like an Invoker or an OD that's not doing too well in the beginning of the lane, then he can get in position quite early and sort of just help push the lane back, maybe even get a pick off. He does have the stuns as well. He has stuns that stack a lot. So Slaughter, a very good pickup for them. And Chen being the second pick, they're really like focusing on controlling their team fights from the get-go, or either with a retaliation like with Chen and Slaughter. Both of them very good at team fight initiations as well as counter initiation.
Okay, a little bit of technical difficulties. That is a Darkseer pick from All or Nothing. That's not a hero I've seen all that often lately. It's going to be interesting to see how they play it. It's most likely an offlane Darkseer. Yeah, that's going to be quite a scary offlane from All or Nothing. The Darkseer and the Nyx Assassin, not something you want to be against if you're Team Pepega. What do you exactly do to counter a Darkseer? Just get a good ranged heroes, or what do you think? Yeah, so basically what you want to do is you want to get a hero that's gonna get a Quilling Blade either way, but that's a bit of a catch-22 because melee heroes in general are bad against Darkseer, but only melee heroes really know how to utilize a Quilling Blade. So it's a little weird. I think a Lifestealer or a Juggernaut's pretty good.
You can still argue about Drow Ranger being good. It's just Ranger got to like level 4 or 5 or even level 6, she would just go and farm the triangle on both sides and start falling out all the items that she except for maybe the Medusa, but like still an argument for Drow Ranger. They did ban out the Monkey King, they did ban out the Ursa, so you know, it could mean that they do actually want to go for this Drow Ranger. Also,
yeah, the
banning
Drow
out
Ranger is pretty good. It's still good, and I agree it was more of a balance than a nerf. It's still a very viable pick, because Drow Ranger was pretty insane. You didn't even have to win the lane or do WoW at all, because you'll still just go ham as soon as it's level 6.
and they actually pick up Rubik for their second hero. So this is gonna be. It could still it could still migrate to a tri lane, but you're going up against the Nyx Assassin. Rubik is definitely not the hero you really want to pick up, and All or Nothing haven't revealed a lot about what they want. So now the Winter Wyvern being picked up, they're not giving a lot of spells to the Rubik. You know, you could argue that Iron Shell is good. You could argue that Surge is good. Winter Wyvern's ult probably just needs to land onto the Rubik, and then it's secured. It's like Rubik's not stealing anything after that. So Rubik was probably not the best pick for Team Pepega in this specific lineup. Like, if two of the heroes were already revealed and you're not going like, okay, we have two very good spells, very good team fight spells that we can utilize and turn around or sort of capitalize on when they're falling back or giving us an advantage in the lane early as well. You know, or if you're roaming to get the pick off, your Rubik is generally not the hero you want to pick up. So
yeah, I'm also not sure about that decision. I don't know why they would do that, because usually you'd think, oh, there's a Pudge hook or a Marana arrow or a black hole, and nothing here really screams Rubik to me. Maybe it's something I'm not seeing, but yeah, it's interesting to see the Rubik pick, not something I expected.
I think this is going to be the pick for them that changes our minds.
Gyrocopter?
Not for me. Definitely not for me. It does do well against. Okay, wait. It does do well against the Darkseer, but they have the Nyx Assassin and they have Winter Wyvern. And Gyrocopter needs a lot of farm. He's pretty squishy in the lane early. That's why you kind of lane him together with an IO. Is this? Look, it could be. Could they argue that Slardar still goes mid and or Rubik goes mid and they pick up the IO? I highly doubt that. Like they're not going to waste a ban even on the IO.
Yeah, my guess at the moment is it's a pos 4 Rubik, a pos 5 Shen, a offlane Slardar, and a safe lane Gyrocopter. So I think the Gyrocopter is at least good in lane, and that's the main thing you want to do against the Darkseer. It's just such a good lane, and there's not a lot of heroes you can pick that have a chance against him, and at least they did that right. And they probably didn't want to go another melee hero, which is why they decided on the Gyrocopter. Aeon is taking some time to pick now. 1 minute 10 seconds into the reserve time, and maybe the Gyrocopter pick is something they wanted to pick. Okay, fourth pick is a Lina. Okay, so the Lina is probably mid.
This is what All or Nothing needed to like round out their draft a bit, because Winter Wyvern works really well if you have a second follow-up, as well as she is the one that will be able to set up kills quite early, probably going for the Yule's Scepter Shadow Blade. So being able to set up kills, the team follows up, and then the Winter Wyvern follows up after that. You have the Nyx to pick off, or maybe even move in the back line to say, this is where the guys are grouping up. They'll get a pick off himself on a support, and then after that, Lina comes in, Winter Wyvern. So a very good like pick off sort of team fighting starting pickup for All or Nothing. And Team Pepega just have sort of a more grouped up fighting sort of style what they want to do now with their draft. So you have Slardar, you have Chen, you have Rubik, you have Gyrocopter. They need to position themselves perfectly in order to get good team fights off. And they could do that, but All or Nothing have that Nyx Assassin.
Yeah, Team Pepega definitely are going for the team fight strat, and All or Nothing's also not being secretive about what they want to do. They want to dominate the early game. Nyx Assassin, Darkseer, Lina, all of these are early game heroes. One leak in their draft though is at the moment they only have magical damage, so if Team Pepega gets something good against that and itemize well, that might be something that All or Nothing lacks, so they'll have to get a very strong physical damage hero now.
They do have the natural Guardian Greaves builder from Chen, and they could opt to go for a Pipe of Insight on the Slardar, because naturally, I'm assuming Slardar is offlane here. So if Slardar skips on the Crimson Guard, goes for the Pipe of Insight, and Rubik goes for the Chen goes for the Guardian's Greaves, it's definitely doable for them. But this does mean that the Chen and the Rubik have to rotate a lot earlier and have to rotate a lot more frequently than they probably would want to, because Chen still needs. I mean, Guardian's Greaves is still a very expensive item, but even just something like having the hood with the mechanism and the boots, and it's arguable that you could still do fine with just those two, but you need to be able to have that burst of healing and the burst of mana regen for your team, especially if you're playing with something like Gyrocopter. Gyrocopter will probably have to build the BKB, maybe even. I mean, you could opt to just go Lincoln Sphere as Gyrocopter, but there's a lot of things that just take it off now as well. Like Splinter Blast could be used on Gyrocopter just to break the Lincoln Sphere. So probably opting to go for a BKB early, which is, it's not great, but the Gyrocopter does naturally survive with it, especially with the cannons he has, the great ult that he throws down. So yeah, definitely seems like Team Pepega will be leading All or Nothing into a team fight, and then they will follow up with the Gyrocopter. But again, it seems like a simple, if they had the Wraith King on Gyrocopter, instead of Gyrocopter, this would have been done already.
Do you think, considering the physical damage thing, this might be a physical damage Ember Spirit? I highly doubt it, but it's possible.
I mean, that's what Ember Spirit does these days, isn't it? You don't see him go for the normal crit damage with the Battle Fury. He goes for the normal Mjolnir, goes for even a Yasha early game, phase boots, building into a bit of that damage. So still, they don't have a lot of durability with him. He has natural escape, so We could still see something as simple as a Storm Spirit for Team Pepega, but the Death Prophet would most likely be better for them.
That's a
But it
Lesh,
is-
right? Yeah, I think that's a good pick as a 5th
Yeah,
pick.
I was about to say anything they have that pushes towers now gives them the advantage, a slight advantage in the laning phase because Ember Spirit does not do too well against those. Odie would have been good, and again in Gyrocopter it could have been probably could have been a Wraith King, but Team Pepega have a good, well-rounded draft. They have a good sort of initiation setup. They have a plan. They definitely have a plan with what they want to do, and All or Nothing have this sort of pick-off, just a bunch of pick-off. With their heroes, it's not a lot of major team fight that they have there, but Winter Wyvern is a good counter initiator. They have Ember Spirit that can come in late. It's just, I think it's both teams definitely have an interesting draft. We'll have to see what they do after the laning phase as soon as the team fights.
Team Pepega are extremely reliable on timings at the moment. They need that Blink Dagger, they need the magical damage resistance, but as soon as they get that timing, as soon as they hit it, they are going to be unstoppable. All or Nothing, their plan is to not let Team Pepega hit that timing and just stomp them from the early game. As you can see, they're already going for a Smoke of the Seed. It's probably gonna be an aggressive play here from All or Nothing.
Yeah, they definitely want to see if they can get an early pick-off. They do have, again, as we mentioned, those pick-off heroes, so...
Yeah, the 1.6 second duration level 1 stun, extremely strong on Nyx Assassin. If they get that off, it might be a kill onto the Shen. It seems like Team Pepega is not expecting this at the moment, and yeah, we'll see how this turns out.
Nyx Assassin did pick up the Impale already, and there is the follow-up. Like, if there's a Light Strike already being picked up by Remedy, it could be good, but after that, Winter Wyvern will opt to go for the Arctic Burn. You already have the Aeon Shell here on the Darkseer, so if they can get one stun off, but the Gyrocopter's going to see them move in, and they do pick it out.
That's a very good play there from Gyrocopter, expecting something is fishy and not being too aggressive against the rune there. And Slardar top should get the enemy rune, should get All or Nothing's rune, since...
Yeah, this does mean he will have to go for the Slithering Crush, and Ember Spirit could just slide a fist into getting it. It seems like it's going to be a carry Ember Spirit. Naturally, as we said, he does pick up the sleight of fist, so...
And top lane,
have to
Kyo is
crush
going to go
that
for a
too.
play. I think he is going to go for a play. Okay, he gets lifted first, but he did go for it, and I can respect that. So that's going to be 2 runes to both teams, and if you look at Kyo, he doesn't quite have enough for his Quilling Blade yet, but is almost there, and that's how you play safe laners. Never buy a Quilling Blade at base.
He has queued it up now for himself. Again, as we mentioned, if you're going up against the Darkseer, it is going to be good. But he does have that Flame Guard as well, which makes him pretty good against the Rubik and the Slardar. So
Yeah, exactly, and you can already see that Winter Wyvern harassment coming through. Extremely strong level 1 spell there from Winter Wyvern. Another good harassment hero. Bottom lane, it seems pretty even at the moment, and All or Nothing would be happy with how it's going.
definitely, but again, you're going Gyrocopter, he is ranged against that Ion Shell. Nyx having to use the Impale. It seems like even though they are a bit safe with the 2 range heroes, they do take a lot of damage, but this is only still because of that level 1 armor that we talked about Gyrocopter, which he's not the tankiest heroes level 1. He does need a few items before he starts doing a lot of damage, before he gets tanky in the lanes, and that's going to make the difference for them a bit forward. He just has to survive right now.
Yeah, exactly, and you can see at least Gyrocopter is getting some harassment in onto the Darkseer. Not a lot of heroes that can do that. Darkseer dropped to about half HP there, and it's gonna be a pretty balanced lane, but All or Nothing will take everything they can, since it is not a lane they are supposed to win, technically. Ski Hound bottom lane, he is aggressive onto the Gyrocopter here. Darkseer also aggressing, they might tower dive a little bit, they decide not to.
So just try to burst down this Gyrocopter, right? Because if he gets the flat cannon up after that, it's going to be annoying. But secondly, Darkseer is going to get the surge up, and thirdly, Nyx Assassin will get the Spike Carapace up. So now, as soon as Gyrocopter runs away and activates the Rocket Barrage, he's going to get stunned up, so he can't do that anymore. He needs to just like simply walk away after being impaled.
Yeah, exactly. They just want to drain that gyrocopter because you know gyrocopter isn't gonna have any mana regeneration items. So the sooner you can get that mana away, the better. Top lane, Keo is being aggressive onto the Slardar. Slardar dropping pretty low. Keo running away for now. It seems like he still wants to go on the Slardar for now. Maybe just a little bit of harassment. Actually, that's in the favor of Team Pepega there as Keo drops lower than.
And he is using a healing salve now to get.
And the
right
salve got
back.
cancelled a little bit into the salve.
Yeah. So down in the mid lane, we have a 9-4 for Last Hits and Denies, 10-4 now for the Lina versus the Leshrac 7-1. Definitely not going in favor of Leshrac. He does need to actually push the wave.
Top lane, Mac dropping pretty low. Winter Wyvern almost dead. He does manage to juke out though. Keo being aggressive onto the Slardar. It seems like they want to get this kill. Slardar does get the Slithering Crush off, and that's a first blood for Sad Socks there. Sad Socks pretty low. He does get the heal off. Rubik also pretty low. Doesn't have mana. Doesn't have any spells.
The Arctic Burn is coming in now.
Yeah, Arctic Burn, and that should be a kill onto the Rubik as well there. Dropping pretty low. One more hit should do it, and he does get the double kill there onto the Winter Wyvern. Slardar wants to get a return kill here, a block from Keo, and that's very good for all or nothing. Unfortunately, they don't have regeneration now, but still 2 kills onto the Winter Wyvern so early into the game.
Definitely. They did get both pickoffs. The Slithering Crush was used, and he got a stun on the Winter Wyvern, but still didn't get the kill. That Cold Embrace just saving him. And Mac will probably get a bit of free farm down this bottom lane. It's a very heavy farm, heavy lane pushing, and 4 range creeps for him. So definitely not going to mind too much, as Ember Spirit can just stand back, and he's going to have to look for farm elsewhere.
Yeah, exactly. At the moment, they did get the 2 kills, but one could argue that it might not even be worth it, as Keo does lose a little bit of space with having to go back and regenerate, and he doesn't have any mana now, and he has to wait for his support to come back.
He's right back in the lane. I mean, the Rubik's also not going to be back for a while because he still has to walk. Doxy is actually just jumping, creep-hopping this lane.
Oh yeah, that's interesting.
Next Assassin moving on to mid. They want to get this
Middle
Light
lane,
Strike.
yeah, they
They're
want
going
to.
to have to go for this Light Strike array, but Lina moves in too fast. Okay, there's still the setup. If he moves forward, he's probably just dead to an Impale. Butterfly, seeing this happening, probably no, he's moving back now.
Next Assassin trying to get the stun. Butterfly being very smart in dodging it. And both stuns do miss. At least Nyx Assassin will escape for now. Ski Hound couldn't get a stun off. Very well played there from Butterfly, actually being able to predict what Ski Hound is going to do there.
Yeah, he did really good movement in order to dodge that Light Strike array and also the Impale. So both of the abilities take quite a few like a split second to charge up.
Darkseer being a little bit of a nuisance here. It seems like they do want to go on him. There is a slow onto the Darkseer. Is it going to be enough? Rubik's also close. He almost has the stun. 5 seconds for the stun. But that is a haste from Darkseer, a surge from Darkseer. Ski Hound also joining the fray. He actually gets cliffed. Yeah, he's going to have to use his teleportation scroll, and he's also underneath a ward now. Remedy, everyone's here.
And now Remedy.
That's a stun onto.
Yeah, she's dropping very low. One more attack should do it.
Okay, so very weird sequence of events there, but that's going to be a double kill for Remedy as he does rotate, and that's going to be good for Aeon. It started pretty weird, but they did manage to turn that into their favor.
It comes down to the movement that they did there from both teams, right? So after the Darkseer was too aggressive, then the Chen got too aggressive, and it just seemed like as soon as the aggressor was out of position, it was a very good follow-up from Pepega as well as All or Nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone rotating in there, everyone having their 2 cents in what happened there, and it did manage to go to All or Nothing's favor there. Middle lane, Remedy is still winning by quite a bit. 10 lost hits in front of Leshrac. Top lane, bash onto Keo. Keo doesn't have a lot of mana left, he has to be careful, but they actually try to go onto the Slardar. This is probably just for harassment, they won't get the kill most likely. Or
he does with the slider first. If he had the Searing Chains, he could have popped the Enchanted Mango and do the Searing Chains, but then the Fate Bolt and the Lift came out from the Rubik, and it was just that split second that they needed in order to secure the kill, but he couldn't get it off because Rubik was there. So definitely a lot of good harassment for going up onto the Slardar, but it's going to come down to who has level 6 first, and Slardar is still keeping up with the Ember Spirit, so it's okay, but Ember's like Slardar does a lot better mid game than Ember does.
Yeah, exactly, and that was actually quite closer than I thought it would be. They still don't get the kill though. Ski Hound being aggressive mid, he doesn't want to leave Butterfly alone. It seems like he does have the level 2 stun now, and they manage to go past each other without seeing one another. Darkseer still being extremely irritating in the bottom lane, and it seems like Pepega wants to stop him. That's a stun from Butterfly onto Darkseer. Darkseer does have the Surge, so he's just going to run out the slow, not doing anything against him, and Butterfly forced to rotate. Very good for Aeon.
Down up top lane, though, Kyo dropping low. Mac does get the stun off. Kyo will pop the flame guard and move back. There's going to be the splinter blast as well from Mac, but it's not going to be enough. And now the two supports are contesting farm. You can't choose the penitence on
Kyo does get the
Darkseer.
slide, the stun off onto Mac there. Mac dropping pretty low. One more hit and that should be it. That is a kill from Kyo with the flame guard. Sorry,
Gonna be a good kill for him as well.
Remedy also in the top lane. There should be another kill.
Remedy just picking that up as well for himself. Very good. Doesn't even have to use that Laguna Blade ultimate to do the burst damage. So they could actually just, move mid and kill the Leshrac now. If you're Kyo or if you're just like Sad Socks and Remedy, you just go mid. But Remedy wants to do this alone, but the ward is there.
Yeah, the ward will make sure that Leshrac doesn't
Now
manage
down
to
bottom
escape.
though, Dashi is running for his life. There is the Ion Shell that is going to be used onto the Rubik. Darkseer, he's still following up. There's going to be the call down from the Gyrocopter. They are going to be able to get the kill onto one. Now dropping very low is going to be Ski Hound, and he goes down as well. Not
Insanely low
actually,
HP on the Shen there.
Yeah,
Top lane
Dashi was
also
actually
Kyo
one of the
being aggressed on. He does have the low armor.
He does have the flame guard on himself. He does have that corrosive haze being used on him, but they're pushing the tower, so just moving back, and the cold embrace should be able to heal him up as much as needed.
Mac doesn't seem like he wants this to happen. He's gonna aggress a little bit onto Sad Socks, but Sad Socks is wise to what Mac is trying to do there.
Like, Mac was a bit... If that Searing Chains landed on him after the Sleight of Fist, it would have been devastating.
And that's a kill onto the
Anybody
Winter
kill.
Wyvern. Quite a lot of damage with that level 4 bash, and yeah, Mac not letting Aeon do everything they want to do there.
Yeah, it's definitely annoying when you're playing against a bash, level 4 bash already, so definitely very good on Mac in order to get the kill, but again, you should probably back off a bit if you're going up against this Ember Spirit. He is going to build up the Drums of Endurance next, so Ruins is going to be up for both teams.
A soldier's fortune.
Leshrac, they do have the Lifelike Array, it hits, and there is going to be the Winter's Curse going to be used as well. It is, however, onto the Leshrac only, and the Nyx is going to get the stun off, and now they should be able to get the kill onto E, but Mac is there. He does get the Slithering Crush off, he's looking to get the bash onto the Remedy, but the Cold Embrace is there to help him. Splinter Blast going to be able to do a lot of damage. Lifelike Array should be able to keep him alive, and let more
So
than
much
Blade
damage
is
from the
also there.
Slaughter.
Mac is moving back now. He's dropping very low. They still need to do a lot more damage. He is going to take out the tower, however, but Chen is moving up on him. They're looking to get the kill now onto Sad Socks. Gyrocopter moving in as well. Rocket Barrage is there. And there's the Fate Bolt going to be used by the Rubik as well. And that's going to be a kill for Junade. 3 heroes for 0, and you only got a tower. I highly doubt that that's worth it for Aeon.
Yeah, they do say that the mid tower is the breakfast of Dota 2. It's the most important tower of the day, and I don't know if it's that important, but some might argue that it is. Top lane, Kyo being very aggressive. He does have the catapult. He wants to get this tower, but he does see that Mac is rotating in thanks to that extremely strong ward that is going to be dewarded now.
Bit too late, but you still know that the ward is there with him moving back. So Kyo definitely securing a bit of farm for himself. After he gets the Drums of Endurance, we'll probably see him go for that Mayolna because he needs to start getting contributing a lot more in terms of the pickoffs with Gyrocopter and with Chen. But Chen arguably is going to be the difference maker. The Divine Favor change for him, not giving the whole team that damage boost is different for Chen, but it's, if you could still micromanage a lot of CC heroes or CC creeps, it makes a difference, right? Because if you can get the extra stun off or even the auras are still very good for their team.
Yeah, exactly. They need the auras, and bottom lane, it seems like Aeon is just gonna get this tower without any concession from Team Pepega. They need to get a kill somewhere on the map or something to try and balance out the fact that All or Nothing just took that tower for free.
It seems like they prioritizing itemization now because the Chen is going in for his own mana boots up top.
Top lane
now.
Kyo maybe a little bit out of position. He does have his ultimate though.
Flame Guard was stolen.
Yeah, that's true. That's quite a good.
So as we mentioned, like Chen has to go for the Guardian's Greaves, but it seems like he's going for he's not necessarily going for the mechanism next, opting to go for the Glimmer Cape actually.
Yeah, I think maybe that's just my inner noob speaking, but I think whenever you get a Glimmer Cape and you don't have another inverse hero in your team, it's really good, because then they have to buy Dust or Detection just for, you know, the one.
I mean, it's a natural, it's a natural quick escape for any support. However, hold on a second. Mid lane, Lina is going to eat a rocket. She does try for the Light Strike Array. Not going to be able to go down. However, the lift is going to be there. The Fate Bolt as well from the Rubik. Rubik is actually invis, so Impale going to go out onto Mac. Mac dropping very low with that. Just the Dragon Slave, but
yeah, I personally think getting the Glimmer Cape is really strong this game.
There's a double damage on the Leshrac as well. Yeah, like Glimmer Cape for both teams is quite good. Well, not necessarily for the Dire side.
Bottom jungle. Rubik's getting all this information. He does have Vendetta active, so it's not going to go on them, but at least he knows all of All or Nothing or bot right now.
So they're just pushing the tower because they have the advantage there right now, and there's a tier 1 tower for the Dire up. So if they trade a tier 1 for a tier 2, they're perfectly happy for it, and it seems like Pepega are just opting to do that. They don't want any other negotiations because that's all they really can do right now. Still farming a bit in the jungle. It seems like they do need to like rotate at least one more hero up top to contest this.
Yeah, and I think
after the fortification.
All or Nothing's pushing this tower because the main thing they want to do is get fights, and if they don't get fights, they get towers because they know they are stronger at the moment, and they know that Team Pepega are still waiting for the towers. And Kyo even still defending the top tower. They don't want to lose anything here. Kyo does get the slide of fist off. He is gonna get lifted, but not much after that. That's a dodge there from Kyo. Very low HP on the Rubik. He does have the Vendetta to escape. He barely makes it. He has 30 HP left. They do get the kill onto the Shen though. Kyo surged up. They want to go for more, but Slardar and Gyrocopter a little bit too far away. But very well played there from Aeon. They get the tier 2 tower and they don't lose their own tier 1. Somehow they manage to get everything. Extremely greedy, but it works. Gyrocopter trying his best to get farm wherever he can at the moment. He does have 95 lost hits, so he is doing quite a decent job. And if you have a look at the net worth, Lina is leading but is closely followed by the Gyrocopter. And like we said, they really need to hit their timings this game, Team Pepega, and All or Nothing need to be aware of when Team Pepega does hit the timings, because that's going to be an extremely strong shift in power. All or Nothing being aggressive in the middle lane, Team Pepega has to defend this. They can't lose another tier 2 tower, and it seems like they are planning on defending this. Kyo dropping pretty low, they are baiting with Kyo. That's a Winter's Curse onto the Gyrocopter, a stun as well. That's so much damage. 2 heroes grouped up there, and Gyrocopter does fall. Rubik also dropped pretty low. They aren't going to be able to dive there, but that's 2 extremely good kills. 2 calls there for All or Nothing, and now they just want to get the tower next.
Moving on to the tier 2 tower means that they're just pushing their advantage. It's not something we see a lot of teams do, which annoys me like a little bit more. Like when you have the advantage, a lot of teams just opt to go for like pushing other objectives of farming right back at your end of the jungle, but not All or Nothing. They definitely just want to push the advantage they have. So
yeah, exactly. As soon as they lead, even with 1k, then they just use that lead to just win even further and further and further. And this is how they play. They hit their timing, and then it's usually a very early game timing, and then they just try to stomp the other team and see if the other team has any answers for it.
It does seem like the Darkseer is actually going for the Guardian's Greaves, where we did mention Okay, it's fine for on him as well though, but will they go for the Crimson Guard on Nick's Assassin? Who's building the defensive items if he's just building the Guardian's Creeps? Who's building the armor items? Winter Wyvern's going for his own Aether Lens, so...
I don't know, maybe they aren't going for it, and I think they went for the Guardian Greaves on Darkseer because it's a hero that's able to farm really quickly, and the quicker you can get it, the better. Top lane Kyo maybe a little bit out of position, but he does have his ultimate and does manage to escape. If he stayed there a little bit longer, more stuns would have went through and he would have died there.
That's the advantage of the Ember Spirit, right? But they
Bottom
don't.
lane,
They do
Skion.
have. Janaid is going to be caught up. The Rocket Barrage. They do have that Impale coming up, and the Laguna Blade is going to be enough to actually get the kill. And that is going to be the Gyrocopter down for 40 seconds. Now they'll just be pushing the next objective. The stun is there. It's going to be a very good Spike Carapace there from Ski Hound. He's just timing these things perfectly with the Rocket Barrage, and then after that, the Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, exactly. Skion having an extremely good game there. That Spike Carapace almost actually getting a kill onto the Leshrac as well. You need to be very careful when you try and damage a Nyx Assassin. Make sure you're not in the position where you want to get stunned. Remedy, he is under a ward at the moment, but you can see that Aeon are planning on playing extremely aggressively here. And unfortunately they don't manage to de-ward that ward, but still the intentions are clear what they want to do.
Yeah, they're just waiting for a 4-staff now. There's no 4-staff. How's he gonna? Is he not gonna just TP down? He's probably just gonna fly one in. No, the courier has the Mjolnir. Alright, he's just hanging around, playing the ward. Gonna have to use the Arctic Burn actually to get down. So then, not too bad. They do get the D-ward on the Sentry.
That's a stun onto the Leshrac, but he does manage to escape.
They're not gonna catch him out. They're way too far. Like,
Yeah.
They only have like one hero that probably builds Blink, and that's the Winter Wyvern. So not gonna be able to catch him out too soon. They do have Search, however. They can just search up Arena and get him. But
Yeah, they have some natural catching, but nothing with the itemization. They have the Ember Spirit and of course the Surge as well, but they don't have any Blink Daggers. Do they even have a 4-staff on the team? No, not quite. So they're completely relying on the spells here to catch enemy heroes.
they're gonna like a problem with the Gyrocopter is, you know, they just caught him out when he was farming to get like with the Vendetta and the Spike Carapace being used, and then he just goes back and farms there. It could have been devastating for him if the Nyx was there scouting him out earlier though.
Yeah, exactly. Taking a risk, maybe thinking he does need to take risks in order to win this game at the moment. 6k deficit in 20 minutes. And yeah, the Nyx Assassin basically can almost solo kill him at the moment. +1, definitely it's a kill.
Yeah, if you have the Laguna Blade, the damage from the Vendetta, that's why he's opting to go for the BKB right now, so he does know that he needs it in order to survive that kind of burst damage, and as soon as the team fight starts, he can just pop it. So they do scout out the Chen, he is being de-warded, the Healscepter will go out, Light Strike Array, the stun is going to be there, Flame Guard going to do a lot of damage, and that's going to be a dead Chen. I do know that the D-ward is there.
Very well played there from Aeon, and they do know the D-ward is there, but it's not going to be a problem for them. Kia wants to be even more aggressive. He does spot Butterfly, does have a stun as well. That's a very good chain onto Butterfly. The Butterfly dropping very low. That's 4 euros on him, and that's of course going to be a kill. Let's see what Aeon is going to try and do with the kills they just got. Kia barely not stopping the TP there from Shen.
Just not latching onto the searing chains. Had he seen him probably a split second earlier, he would have stuck. But the Darkseer is pushing in this bottom lane, and the Gyrocopter and the Slardar has to start moving back. The Gyrocopter is going to farm up the Dire side before he does, but they're pushing down mid as well. It's definitely not looking good. You can't be a Gyrocopter farming the enemy jungle when they're pushing a tier 3 tower.
Yeah, exactly. Not what you want if you are Team Pepega at the moment, and that's going to be a steal onto the Sleight of Fist there from Rubik. Not exactly a spell you'd want on a Rubik, and that goes back to there's not a lot of really good spells you can steal, except maybe from the Lina.
If he could get the Laguna Blade and the Winter's Curse, Curse would be like the definite one that he wants, because he could Winter's Curse right back onto the Winter Wyvern. But You're still not doing a lot. If you could get a Winter's Curse onto an Ember Spirit that doesn't have the Flame Guard on, it's a whole different story, because then you should be able to get a very good kill onto the Ember Spirit, but you don't have the Splinter Blast to follow up. You only have a Fate. It's not doing as much damage.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, getting the Winter's Curse would be huge for Rubik, and it isn't the most difficult spell to steal, because it doesn't have very long range. Winter Wyvern does have the Ether Lens though, and he would be aware that Rubik is gonna try and steal the Winter's Curse, so he'll most likely cast the spell directly afterwards, but that's just part of what makes Rubik difficult.
Yeah, I think you could just go for, like, if you go into a Maelstrom now, Rubik would be fine with Sleight of Fist, but you're not doing that anytime soon. So, you're not farming with him. They are contesting Roshan now for Aeon. Just don't even, they don't even care.
I think Team Pepega even knows about this, because there is a ward there, they just don't want to. They don't even want to.
They just can't contest it, you know?
Yeah.
You have the Vendetta that's set up there. You can't fight into the Winter's Curse in a small area like that. So you're just going to give it. Kia will probably take it. It is going to be the Lina that takes it. So.
And that's a smoke directly afterwards, but Kia was outside of the Roche pit, so they are aware of the smoke of the seed. So if Team Pepega plays this correctly, they will try and get back. Rubik almost out of position. Yeah, he's getting caught up by on Lina.
He's going to be caught up.
Yeah.
Yule Scepter's going to come out. The Light Strike Array going to do a lot of damage. Not even having to use that Light Strike Array.
Yeah,
so
that's a very easy kill there from Lina. A little bit of a miscalculation from Rubik, not exactly understanding how fast they'll get there. And Gyrocops are also not expecting them to be bottom lane and trying to juke out, but it's not going to be enough as the Winter's Curse does go off onto him.
Will pop the BKB. He has to run now, mate. Mac is there in the middle of them. He could get a good slithering crush off, but it's already used. Now taking a whole lot of damage. The cooldown's going to be used. They are going to be able to give him a bit more life, but the vacuum is going to be there. Now the wall, a big wall, lands onto 2. And Light Strike Array lands onto the only 2 alive, and that's going to be a full team wipe going in the favor of all or nothing.
Yeah, that was insane. If you saw that, you would think Aeon is the team this game, but yeah, that was insane. The vacuum and the Winter's Curse and everything just going perfectly. Symphony of skills there.
Definitely having very good combos, synergies between both teams, and it